Title: Shadows of the Forgotten Church. The wind howled through the barren trees that line the desolate lane leading to the Church of St. Bertram's, a forgotten relic resting upon the outskirts of the small village of Moromer. As the clock struck midnight on Halloween night in 1925, an unnatural chill swept over the land, causing the leaves to rustle like whispers of the past. Thomas Eldridge, a curious scholar of the occult, trudged down the path driven by the promise of ancient secrets hidden within the church's fractured stone walls. Legend spoke of the church as a place of immense power, once a sanctuary for ancient rites in honor of forgotten deities. The villagers, anxious to ward off the specters of the past, spoke in hushed tones of the calamities that befell those who dared to approach on Halloween night. But Thomas was undeterred. The research he pursued demanded courage. As he crossed the threshold of the crumbling entrance, the scent of damp earth mingled with the musty odor of decay. Moonlight streamed through the broken stained glass windows, casting eerie patterns upon the floor. Shadows danced, as if alive, weaving in and out of the cathedral-like space, illuminating the altars that remained a testament to rituals long since abandoned. With a lantern flickering in hand, Thomas stepped further inside, his heart racing with anticipation. The air hummed with a palpable tension, the kind that whispered of unseen eyes watching from dark corners. He paused for a moment, allowing the ambience to settle over him. "Find what has been lost," a voice echoed through the chamber, resonant and hollow. Thomas, startled, turned sharply but found only the shadows retreating deeper into the recesses of the church. Summoning his resolve, he ventured further, his lantern guiding his way as he moved toward the altar at the far end. The altar, draped in thick cobwebs, bore a strange insignia, a spiral entwined with serpents. It pulsed faintly, emanating warmth unlike the cold grasp of the rest of the church. Thomas knelt, cautiously tracing its surface with his fingers. Suddenly, a tremor rippled through the ground beneath him, and the injuries of the church began to unfold like the pages of a forgotten tome. From the altar, a sigil illuminated in ghostly hues, forming a doorway in the very fabric of the air. The atmosphere shifted dramatically, and before him appeared a vision of the past, the ancient congregants, dressed in robes of rich crimson, their voices chanting in an echoing melody. They were performing a ritual that sent ripples of energy throughout the dimensions. Thomas's breath hitched as he was drawn deeper into the vision. The church transformed into a living entity, abundant with spectral light and lush greenery. He could feel the energy coursing through him, a connection to the eternal and the arcane. Yet, in the corners of his vision, shadows lingered a warning. Suddenly, the ground shook with a low growl, and the vision faltered. The spectral congregants turned their gazes upon him, their faces a mix of wonder and rage. The doorway shimmered, beckoning him closer, promising answers, yet warning of the consequences. With each heartbeat, he felt the call of the hidden knowledge that lay within their ancient grasp. Summoning his courage, Thomas stepped forward, but just as he crossed the threshold, the shadows lashed out, capturing his essence, wrapping around him like tendrils of mist. Panic surged through him as he fought against their cold embrace, his thoughts fraying under the pressure of their malign influence. "Reveal what must remain hidden," he cried out, determined against the darkness. In response, the shadow shrieked, releasing a wave of psychic energy, a cacophony of despair. But in that moment, the sigil at the altar flared to life, a beacon of light that sliced through the shadows. The energy resonated with him, confronting the darkness head-on. He prayed for the strength of the ancient ones to guide him, to grant him passage through this ethereal storm. As if responding to his plea, the shadows retreated, torn apart by the brilliance of the sigil. With a cry that echoed through the dimensions, Thomas grasped the essence of their knowledge. In an instant, he was thrown back to the church, collapsing onto the cold stone floor, gasping for air. Awash in the aftermath, Thomas gazed up at the altar, now still and unassuming. The sigil remained, a quiet promise that remained in the threads of reality. He had glimpsed the power hidden within the church and understood that its secrets were not meant for mortal folly. As he staggered outside, the cool night air filled his lungs, mingling with the distant toll of the midnight bell. The church stood timeless, an eternal sentinel, its story woven into the fabric of Moromer, now safeguarded from the reckless curiosity of mankind. On that Halloween night, Thomas Eldridge walked away there after scapes of shadows trailing behind him, grateful yet burdened with the knowledge of what remains unseen, a reminder that some doors, once open, should not be traversed again.